So it's clear that shorelines and the associated waves are constantly reforming themselves from erosion, transportation of sand and sediment, and deposition of this sand. But in a lot of cases, humans would like to have shorelines stay the way they are for a number of reasons. This could be as simple as this going to the same area for recreation every year, or it could have to do with the transportation of people and goods and how they pass through places like barrier islands or even large spits, and how that might change over time if not controlled. So there are great efforts to control wave erosion and deposition, and we'll start out with one that's called jetties. So jetties are built on both sides of inlets. This could be an inlet to a bay through a spit, or it could be the inlet to a barrier island into a more protected area behind it. But these jetties are built out into the ocean perpendicular to the shoreline in order for the sand to get trapped that would otherwise just keep moving along this area through beach drift and build first a spit and then a bar across this opening or entrance to this protected area. So these jetties are built outward, and then as the sand undergoes beach drift and the longshore current pushes the sand underneath the water, all of that is piled up against the side of this jetty here, because in this case, the longshore current and the beach drift is moving sand from left to right. However, on the other side of things, because of the way the waves are getting refracted, we would expect erosion to occur over here, and this sand would continue to move in this direction from left to right. So over time, there's going to be deposition on one side of the jetty, on one side of one jetty, and there's going to be erosion on the opposite side of the associated jetty. And this often happens with these sort of jetties, but they're just controlled over time through this channel. If the sand is getting around this jetty, this channel can also be dredged. But a lot of times, huge efforts are made like this in order to keep entrances to protected areas like bays and areas behind barrier islands opened. And here's an example of a jetty that was built at Humboldt Bay in California. And we can clearly see that here on the north side of the jetty, we're having deposition take place. It's much thicker and sticks further out in the water. And here on this side of the jetty, we're having more erosion take place, and things are getting pushed back in this direction here. Here are the two jetties themselves sticking out in the water, perpendicular to the shoreline, which is running in this direction here. Another type of feature that's built perpendicular to the shoreline out into the water is called a groin. And a groin is not designed to keep an inlet to a harbor open. A groin is designed to keep sand in place, to keep the sand on your property from migrating down the beach to your neighbor's property. So these groins are just, they don't have to be sophisticated. In this case, it's a wooden wall that was built along the beach with these pylons here. And it's just designed to keep the sand from migrating down the beach. We can clearly see in this case that the longshore current and beach drift is from right to left here, because things are getting piled up on this side of the groin and things are getting eroded away from this side of the groin. So it's a bit of a zero-sum game. You can keep the sand from moving down, but if your property is here, you might be happy about this part, but if your neighbor builds a groin further to the right, they're going to keep their sand where they are, and you're going to have erosion on the other side of their groin. This is Sitges, Spain, on the Mediterranean outside of Barcelona. And people come here specifically to go to the beach. And even within their own beach here at Sitges, they put in groins in order to enhance, in order to keep sand from moving with longshore current along in this direction here. And here we can see it's from the bottom to the top of the image as we get sediment piling up along this side of the groin, and then the same the sand being eroded away from this side of the groin. So here these are all put in, and you could walk from one to the other, but they're all put in order to try to enhance the beach. But once again, where you get deposition of more sand in certain places, but you also get erosion of sand associated with that. So a series of groins are shown in this image here.